I've been watching more videos of the Anthropic team and stuff like that, and I saw one where he said, why is it that like virtually all engineers prefer to use Cloud Code even though other models do better in the benchmarks? And he's like, well, we don't optimize for the benchmarks and other people do. When you see a benchmark, like, yeah, it is impressive on a certain level, but you have to remind yourself that if they're optimizing for them, then they're like overtraining on like these one specific things versus, you know what I mean?
Who benchmarks the benchmarks?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This episode is brought to you by Smile.io, the loyalty platform trusted by thousands of the fastest growing Shopify Plus businesses to increase repeat purchases, reward VIPs, and build lasting customer relationships. Smile helps businesses become more profitable while discounting their products less. You got to be careful with the discounts. You don't want to push too hard on the discount pedal. If you're ready to turn transactional sales into lifetime customers, start building a more profitable business with Smile.io today. Dude, I'm so mad that we didn't get that little moment recorded. That would have been the fucking perfect. Do it again. Do it again.
I'll throw it in there at some point.
Throw it right now. Let's see if we can recreate it. God, that was perfect. Grok, is this true? Yeah, see, it's gone. Once the moment's gone, it's gone. Like, that's why.
Got to hold my tongue until the record button is pushed. Just you know. But the Grok is this true thing is so hilarious because I ask it that so often now. Like, do you do it in the public replies or just
not that much? That's the thing. A lot of them, like, I've done a couple of those, but most of them, you know, I'm kind of embarrassed that I don't know. It's either like an inside joke or it's like some technology that I just like don't know what it is. And so I find myself.
I remember as soon as people started doing that, everyone's like, oh, this is so annoying. Everyone's got these Grok is this true replies, but it's actually kind of helpful sometimes.
And I'll see those in threads and I'll go, this is actually very helpful. Even when it seems like the person doing it is kind of being a douche, like you get that sense, it's still like Grok's reply is still like that's genuinely helpful. It's like robots are better. They're not only are they going to be better than us, like they're already better than us. Like, it's
at least at reading tweets and understanding context of tweets.
What's that? Oh yeah.
At least at like reading all of the relevant tweets and trying to make
it's
sense
funny
of what's
because
happening.
We've switched from using Slack to using Linear for one of my projects, and I really like Linear, but I find myself getting like super passive aggressive it's a weird dynamic because on the one hand it's like it's a great product, I'm really glad because I recommended it, and then at first they were like, oh, we got to use Jira, and then they were like, okay, we can do it, and I was like, okay, cool. I was happy about it, but it lends itself towards like everything's very detail oriented. So like if a ticket is real long and then it seems like there's some like fluff in the ticket or like some inaccuracy, I'm just like, I don't even want to read this ticket. Like, I don't know. It's a
Grok.
Yeah, and then but then the funny thing is, I also been using Linear MCP, and with Linear MCP, you can just tell it to start working on a ticket. It pulls it in, and then it just as if you prompted it yourself, but you're skipping that one step of prompting it yourself, and it just gets to work on its own, right? So you can just ask it for a plan, for example. Pulls the ticket in, starts working on it. And it's so funny because I'll look at like the way that it's writing and talking, right? And I'll contrast it with like the way that I reply and stuff like that. And I'm just like, wow, it's just so helpful. It's like, it doesn't complain about anything at all. It just gets right into the details and stuff. I'm like, it's better than me.
Wait, so you're using Linear as a replacement for Slack as well as Jira?
Not literally, but in the sense that we were just using Slack for everything. Like it was like, hey, work on this. Okay, cool, done. Okay, You know what I mean? But Jira is the official thing for the company. But like we both hate Jira, so we kind of just are like, let's just use Slack instead of having it goof around in Jira. But then we were like, well, what if we had a little more structure? What if we could use Linear? Because I've always heard such good things about it. And so then he's like, cool. So we started using Linear. It's just like our little side thing. Yeah, it's like not officially endorsed by the company. Like we haven't exactly told everyone like that we're not using Jira. We're just like, just a little side quest type of thing.
Well, it looks pretty cheap. Like, might as well give it a shot.
I think we're still on the free tier. I mean, it is an incredibly beautiful product and like just very well designed.
I was really interested in like you replacing Slack with this because if there was like a project management tool where your conversations also happen and then it just like extracted things from them that are good for context for tickets, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that we do like 95% of our Slack comms have moved in there into Linear. And it's also very real time. Like it's very obviously async, but it's very real time because it'll show a comment immediately on the screen if somebody else writes it. If you're in your inbox view and you're clicking through things, like you reply to 3 things, by the time you're on the 4th thing, you see a reply come in to the first thing and you see it refresh right there. So it's like
nice.
It's like it feels almost as real time as Slack in some ways, but obviously you're just talking issue. Specific.
But all of the conversations are like on a ticket or something, so it's organized.
And Linear has the concept of threads within a ticket, which sounds kind of annoying or like weird, but it's like really elegant because it's like if you comment on a ticket, it just automatically it starts a thread as a comment, but then people can reply to that thread, and then you can resolve the thread. So instead of just this infinite tree of comments and sub-comments, anytime you write a comment, you're picking between, is this a new thread or are we on this existing thread? And then once it's resolved, it collapses it down in the view so that, right? Because it's like, okay, I don't want that cluttering up the ticket if that little thread is. So it's just, it has a lot of good features, dude. It's like...
That's interesting. I have to look at it. We use Jira and Asana, and like they both have their strengths and weaknesses. I think one of Asana's weaknesses is that everything is like kind of at the same level with the comments, and also I'm just always scared that I'm accidentally gonna mark something as done and then lose it forever.
Right.
And then Jira is just like too much babysitting, trying to structure everything to and then it gets lost. Like I'll make an epic for something and put the epic in a sprint, but you don't see epics in sprints, at least in our case. So I either need to like dig down the rabbit hole to figure out why, or just make tasks on top of the epic. And it's just like, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, and like if I were you, I'd look into trying to use an MCP as well. If you're doing, I mean, because like, because I was thinking, I was like, well, maybe I could use Jira for the stuff I need to use it for, like with an MCP, because it's like you basically are just chatting and it's just like figuring it out. And it's like, I went from like, oh, this is such a cool web app, like Linear, and a cool desktop app. I'm like, oh, this is so nice, to then being like, wait. And then this one guy on Twitter replied to me, and he was like, I just used the Linear MCP. He's like, literally the only time I even open Linear is if I'm in a meeting and I need to screen share something. And then I was like, damn, that's good. So now I'm trying to not use Linear at all. I'm trying to do everything
just straight through Claude,
out of the command line. But the threads make it a little tricky because, you know, you could tell it to work on an issue. You could tell it to post a comment, change a status, change an assignee. It does all that really well. But then replying to a specific thread, I think it will be complicated.
Not out of the GUIs yet.
Yeah, not just yet, but Dude, I am all about the terminal these days, dude. I mean,
we were talking about that last week. The TUI is becoming a thing.
Right. Like, but it's like nonstop, and I'm finding more reasons to do, like, my little email app. I'm going to port that over to the terminal. I'm going to, like, I've spun up, like, I built a linear CLI, like, to do things like that. The MCP was having issues. Like, all I want to do is turn everything I use into a terminal app.
Yeah. I've been wanting to ask how, like, when you're in it and you're working on stuff and you're like, oh man, I have these 5 things to do. At what point do you realize I actually should just work on a command line tool right now to make this easier? Or is that just like always there?
That's like always. That's like all the time. And then the more that you're using command line, the more you're in it, the more like you can. So like, for example, like I'm starting to have like a common format for each project I'm working on. Like I have a terminal open, I have like 3 tabs in the terminal. Like one is a build command, one's a Claude session, and the other one's like a regular shell for doing stuff. And then like I can flip between them and kind of know very quickly where I'm at, how to, like, basically I'm trying to figure out how to multitask better, because my entire life I've tried to avoid multitasking because I thought it's the least productive thing humanly possible versus actually like deep focused work. And now I'm like, I think it's changed. I think it's just fundamentally changed. And so now I'm like, well, what am I going to do in the 2, 3, 4 minutes waiting for the prompt? I got to go work on something else. So, you know, then like I have this whole terminal. Whereas if I open Chrome, right, and I'm starting to use Chrome tabs, but it's like it's not perfect, but like it's not a cleaner context separation. What would really be nice if I could use virtual desktops and literally just slide between virtual desktops, and then have all your context in one, like your relevant Chrome tabs, your blah, blah, blah. But like, I think I need more memory, because I think I think I tested it, but it like didn't do it right, or so I needed separate,
like
Chrome.
Using macOS spaces or whatever.
Yeah, I needed Chrome profiles or something. I don't know. It got complicated, but that's like all I'm thinking about now is how can I parallelize stuff better.
Heck yeah. I feel like I'm so behind on that.
Dude, I feel like I'm so behind. Like, I hear someone talking about doing 6 at a time, and I'm like, well, are they just vibe coding like zero thought whatsoever? Maybe. And I've seen a couple screencasts and stuff, but I know there's people that are very effectively like parallelizing, like people that are using Git work trees and shit like that. I tried to do a Git work tree, and I'm having trouble spinning up unique environments I did a work tree. I went into the folder. I get sort of how it works. It's pretty sweet how it works. But like, I don't have a way to spin up a unique environment tied to that with like a separate database. Like, we just have dev environment, staging, and prod. We don't have dynamic environment. Like,
what is a Git work tree?
So a Git work tree is basically what you do is you're in your repository. Okay, you're in your reviews app repository, and then you go Git worktree add, and you call it, let's say, my app name dash new feature. And it creates a separate directory that's like a sibling to your main one. So it's not inside of your main project. It's a sibling to it. And it automatically sets it up on a different branch. And then, but it's not a separate clone. So like from within the worktree folder, you see everything that's going on in the other main folder. So like if a push or a commit happens, they're like looking at the same history, or this like the same Git history or whatever. But it just sort of magically like works. Like that's what it's basically for.
Because like the traditional approach to that is just having different branches, right? But work trees maybe are better for if you have separate branches, but you're one person.
Well, so it's separate branches, and you can have both checked out at the same time.
That's blowing my mind up. I'm going to have to look into that.
Because you're working on one feature branch here, and normally you just switch branches whenever you want to work on a new feature. But then if Claude is running against that branch, and then you want to go work on another thing, you need to go into the other branch in another place. So the simple way of doing this is you just clone the repository into another folder, check out a different branch. But if you do that, they're separate like things.
Git doesn't know about it.
Yeah. So exactly. So
interesting.
Yeah, dude. So man, and I've had some moments, dude, where I'm like cruising through multiple things at once, like efficiently, without that whole like switch context, scratch your head for 4 minutes trying to remember what you were doing type of thing. Like I've had some of those flows where I'm like, dude, this is awesome. And then sometimes it's totally the opposite. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, I should just focus on one thing because I feel like I'm just wasting time context switching. But it's like I'm trying to improve that whole thing.
That muscle, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you listen to like crazy cyberpunk techno music when you're managing all these AI robots?
yeah, dude. You got to have EDM going at all times. Dude.
Step one, get the bass flowing.
Oh, yeah. What do you listen to?
I jump around. Today I've been listening to K-pop Demon Hunters because...
Dude, my kids love that show.
Did you see they're playing them in theaters?
No.
They started like getting theaters and they're everywhere. Like out here in Missouri,
that's hilarious.
They're playing it everywhere. I'm going with my daughter tomorrow to see it. It's like a sing along. So
that's wild.
But yeah, I usually like when I need to get into focus mode, it's either heavy bass music or some sort of like progressive metal, like crazy riffs going.
Right. I didn't know you look because I haven't really listened to metal, but when you said that and remembering your whole vibe, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
That's cool. Yeah, like, dude, how about people that don't listen to anything while they work?
They must be serial killers.
Right? Dude.
Like people who listen to nothing while driving. How do you do that?
I play music where I play pickleball. And like one time I was there, somebody had a speaker. I was like, that sounds good. So then I eventually got a speaker.
DJ Caleb!
Yeah. Every once in a while, somebody like complains it's too loud or something. And it's like, and I brought it for a while and then I stopped bringing it because one person complained. And then, and then when I stopped bringing it, people kept asking, where's the music? Where's the blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so then I started doing it again, and it's like, and there's especially these fucking tennis guys that are playing pickleball now, and they're fucking fancy, and like, they're like, yeah, it's supposed to be a gentleman's sport, there's no music. I'm like, go fuck yourself, dude.
Pickleball is a gentleman's sport? I feel like the whole thing around pickleball is it's like casual.
Exactly.
But maybe not.
Well, but his thing was that tennis is a gentleman's sport, and he's basically treating, like, I feel like they have the right to impose their tennis culture because tennis is sort of like better than pickleball. Yeah, it's adjacent, but it's also better. Like, you know what I mean? Like nobody respects pickleball. Tennis players get a little bit of respect. So like, I understand.
That's what makes pickleball punk.
Yeah. It's punk rock, dude. It's fucking.
That's right.
But it's also too popular.
Don't listen to anybody telling you to turn the music down.
Yeah, dude. It's bonkers.
Here for the vibes.
So what else do we got? Tobes posted a CLI. He created a CLI. Speaking of CLIs. Called Try that lets you organize your...
I saw that.
Yeah. I was like, this is freaking awesome. And then when I saw
that's interesting.
I was like, shit, I do have like a million folders in my main repos directory and it's a hot mess. And like, I'm like, dude, I need this. And so that was smart.
Yeah, I went in and looked at the GitHub repository a little bit because I wasn't sure I understood. And there's so the main thing is that it creates new directories, but there's like all these really nice things around it, auto dating and like auto switching between them and stuff like that. And it also has its own little TUI, so it was pretty cool. Crazy. I haven't tried it out.
Yeah, I took a look at it and just literally the search functionality I was like, oh, I get it. Because like it instead of a regular files directory search, you're tabbing into it, your tab auto completing. So it just, you have to type the first part correctly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whereas it just, the search just searches anywhere in the directory name. So it's like, oh, it makes it so much easier to like find stuff. But I haven't fully integrated it into my workflow.
Yeah, I don't find myself making new directories that often. I'm mostly like in directories that I already made. Yeah. Or I'm like, okay, I need to do this new thing, and I just make a new directory and call it something.
Yeah.
But if you're like doing research stuff a lot, definitely seems like it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like it always feels uneasy creating a new directory because you're like, wait, I'm kind of committing to this thing. Like, do I really need to create this, or can I like, should I be doing something else right now?
Now you got directories per date, all the directories.
And then I was like, wait, that sounds horrible. I was like, by date, now I have to remember the date to go into it. And it's like, no, you search on it, it shows you the date and all this stuff, dude. So I gotta, this guy Toby, I think he has some talent. I think
going places.
I think he's gonna go places. I mean, call me crazy.
I've also been seeing a lot of the like Shopify, like the non-dev teams posting their vibe-coded work.
It's making
pretty
me
cool.
So angry how good it is. It's like, it's absolutely killing me. It's so cool, man. Like I saw.
It makes me excited. It feels like there's just a lot more software coming out lately. And like it could be that a lot of it is bad, but that might mean that overall there's still more good software coming out. Like if there used to be 20 projects coming out a week and now there's 100, but 50% of them are horrible, that's still like 30 more. So like 150% more good projects.
And even aside from the net new ones, the existing ones are getting better too. Like all my software that I'm writing is better quality now, like significantly. And you know what I mean? And like, I'm sure most people's improvements are even better than mine. And you know what I mean? And like, you got fucking Stewart with Revo out here destroying the game, dude.
Yeah, he's at the top.
Did you follow him yet? I think we talked about
I think so.
Okay, we talked to you. I talked to you about this last. You're like, who's Stewart? And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
He had another hot tip, dude, which was an AutoClad MD files, basically an agent that automatically updates your Claude MD files. As it's doing work, it automatically detects if there's something that should be reflected in the Claude MD files based on what it's working on, and makes those changes, which because I'm spending a lot of time trying to optimize my Claude MD files, and it's like,
I need that.
Yeah, it's like, and I did some separate files per directory. I feel like it's helping. And then I have sort of a workflow now for if I see it do something I didn't think it should have done, instead of just like clicking yes, I let it run. I go a separate tab. I open a Claude and I talk to Claude about Claude. I go, hey, this other Claude did this, but I didn't think it should have because I thought that was already in the Claude MD file. Can you look into it? And then it goes, yo, yeah, it's because you need to add this section. And I'm like, perfect, cool.
That's cool, because then it doesn't taint your context with your conversation with the other one.
Exactly. Otherwise, it throws
nice.
Yeah. So that's like a little.
That feels like something that should be in Claude code, like not the separate Claude, but the be better at updating Claude MD, please, because like your context window is going to run out eventually.
Yeah, like your life depends on it. Like it should be doing that all on its own. I mean. And there is this memorize command if you hit the pound key, and I kept seeing it in the like tip of the day, like hit the memorize, and I was like, what does that mean? And then I finally used it today, and all it does is takes whatever you type and puts it at the bottom of your Claude MD file. So like, I don't understand why people would use that, because you need some organization to it. So like probably whatever you said is related to some other set of bullet points somewhere else, so you want it put in the correct context. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to auto magically do that.
I feel that way with a lot of those like question mark or whatever commands that you can do in Claude Code, where it's like you can list out something or you can reference specific files, And I feel like maybe my expectations are high on what it should understand, and just be like, I don't want to tag a particular file. I just want to talk to you about concepts, and then like you know where that is.
Right. I find that I'm not having to tag files too much.
Okay.
Do you have to tag files a lot, or does it just fine?
No, I've never done it. I just saw that it's a thing that you can do. I don't know why I would do that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's funny because using Cursor, like you had to do that. Like it didn't know anything about anything, and unless you tagged the right file. So I got used to doing that. And then it was one of those habits where like I felt like I had to do in Claude, and then after a while I was like, oh, actually, I mean, it might speed it up a little bit. It's so much nicer to be able to think at a higher level. I used to have this habit anytime I got ready to work on a feature, I'd be like, okay, I'd crack open the editor and I'd be like, okay, what file is it in? And then your brain is kind of traversing your mental model of the project kind of slowly, you know, like cracking off the dust webs and cobwebs and stuff like that.
What was happening in here?
Yeah. And then you get to, you go, oh yeah, it's in this file. And then you open the file. And then again, that was another habit that when I worked on a new feature in Claude, I was like, oh, which file is it in? But now I don't even do that. I just say, hey, there's this thing that needs to do this. And boom, let it.
You know what I kind of miss is, sorry, I'm bringing up Magento, but like trying to figure out where we do. Trying to figure out where something actually happened, and like traversing the class and like function trees and like command click. Okay, now I see what's happening here, but now it calls this function command click. That was kind of fun, like a little bit of a little scavenger hunt. But I'm scared of how Claude would have tried to, like, that would be so many files to go grep and read the first 100 lines of, and you wouldn't get anywhere with that.
Dude, that's a very good question. I talked to my friend Jerry. He's doing Magento and stuff. I mean, I saw some tweets by some Magento people. I think they're hitting Claude hard.
Are they?
I think so. I don't know, but that is a good point you mentioned, because I mean, it's a lot of files to read.
Yeah, big files, like big classes.
Yeah, no. Now I'm extremely curious about that, but we'll have to get a Magento guest on the show for old times' sake.
We shall.
Yeah, no, it's crazy times. Crazy.
Hey, I think not on the list, but I'm pretty sure since last time I joined the Shop Dev Alliance, I'm in there now.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
Thank you.
I don't know if you could hear the clap coming through.
I owe it all to you, Caleb.
Round of applause for Mr. Robinson, everybody. Hey, don't mention it. It's what I do. I mean, I may
someday I'll get you into some very exclusive community.
I may call you and ask for a favor one day, and I'll expect you obviously to return the favor. No big deal.
Any way I can. If you want to like record a podcast or something, we could do that.
No, it's cool, man. How are you liking it? Are you in there every day? Are you like all into it?
Yeah, I've been over and checking on it and reading some stuff. There's like really cool things that people are posting in there.
Nice.
Like nice little tables of like, here's how the dot length works on all these different objects. And it's just like, I never did that, but interesting to know.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been in there like really in there like looking at everything. I usually pop in for a quick message here and there, but we got to start a little sub channel or something in there, and just like, I don't know, just have like a couple bros to just
shitpost.
Yeah. Like on a constant stream. I need that in my life. I need like a good,
GIFs only.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of Slack, it's so brutal because I'm doing a little bit of work for Shopify Flow, and I can't talk about any of it, which it sounds like I'm doing some kind of a humble brag, which I slightly am, but it's like it literally drives me crazy because you know how I am. If there's something I think is cool that I'm working on, it's like I want to post about it, It's like it's like an automatic instinct for me. And so I was doing some stuff that I thought was cool, and I was just like, oh my God, I want to. So I messaged you, and actually, I did not message you about it, but.
I was like, wait, so you're talking about this thing that you can't talk about?
Which
Got it.
I I definitely did not message you. This is a public show. We do have a large listener base. But here's the thing I wanted to say is that I have the worst of all worlds, because what I realized after seeing all these cool ass vibe code things that they're sharing internally, and every once in a while they post one, and like Gil had tweeted about the fact that they're doing so much cool internal stuff. What I realized is they don't need to share in the outside world, because they have this gigantic 6,000 person universe that they're sharing everything they're doing with. You know what I mean? Because like, if you work on something and you can't share it until like, it's public, like 9 months later, and then blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like, the feedback loop is energizing. And I'm guessing they have a cool, like, internal feedback loop.
I feel like everyone just gets to talk about everything internally at Shopify. And so when there's like a little bit of a leak, it's hard to contain it.
Yeah, right.
Because you're like, oh man, this is cool.
Right. It makes me so angry that I can't just work there, because I'm chasing this stupid ass dream of getting that sweet internet money. And even though I have a realistic shot at it, most likely, but
there are many ways to get internet money. And I feel like the thing that I've been hearing lately is you just got to keep trying. And I feel like you're good at that.
I am very good. Yeah. I mean, so at least at trying, but I feel like I would just be happier as like a human being. And I'm sure make more than enough. I mean, you'd probably have to work there for 20 years to have enough to retire. But I mean, I feel like it would just be such a cool ass place to work.
I agree. Their offices are beautiful too.
Oh God, their office, like it's literally like, I saw Harsh tweeting about it and saying that I think he said he like moved somewhere just so he could go into the offices. And I'm like,
yeah,
that is something. If I was single, I would do that literally. Like,
right.
Like that's
not
how fun
happening
it would
now
be.
in my life, but
that's how fun it would be to just be able to pop into a Shopify office like whenever you want, like never have to, but you only go there if you want to. Dude, that would be so fucking cool.
Like to go in and show people something cool that you've been working on in your like dungeon or whatever.
Show up, everybody's chill. Hey guys, want to see this thing I built? Yeah. Be like a TV show, dude.
One of the things I miss from being in the office is we used to do these like hack Fridays where we would just work on something that's fun that we haven't really set aside time for.
What company was that at?
Like, we did it at AOE.
Okay, that's because I was going to say that sounded familiar. I think I remember you guys talking about that.
Yeah, but the energy isn't there, I think, if you're all kind of like in separate spaces. I mean, you could still make it happen.
It's just different. I mean, but I think you can make it happen. I was actually talking to somebody about, I don't think you ever saw that little Magento community I started. It was kind of random. It was like the last thing I did.
That was a Slack thing too, right?
Yeah. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I ended up handing it off to PJ to run because he wanted to run it. And so I was able to, I was making a little bit of money. I was able to just hand it over to him. Didn't try to sell it or anything like that. But we would do like a Friday. Like I wanted to do something kind of chill. So I'd be like, hey, let's have a beer on Fridays and like talk about, instead of the typical like somebody's going to do a talk and we're going to listen to the talk. It was like, we'll do a hangout and then we'll have a beer and like somebody, like we'll have a topic and like somebody will be like not really giving a talk, but just kind of like talking about it and just have a conversation with everybody. And it was kind of fun. I kind of want to maybe try to do something like that, but just for fun.
That's cool.
Not trying to monetize.
Yeah.
It. Like I
could do like a virtual version of it too, like a little mini hangout. We try and do that sometimes at Kuyana. We have like a virtual scavenger hunt thing, which, like maybe that wouldn't be what you would do, but just like virtual happy hour and talk about stuff that happened. Kind of like what we have here, but if you want, you can like have your camera on and just meet a bunch of people.
Yeah. That would be kind of cool. I really like for podcasts, I wish I was better with like multi-person because it would be really fun to grab people and pull them in. But I just, every time I like the managing the lag on an internet call and like without losing, like how many times have you talked to somebody and you're just like, oh, what'd you say? Like literally it's just like so much of that it sort of zaps your energy. Whereas like when you're used to talking together, you just versus just one person and one other person. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like the ability to have a good conversation like goes down exponentially just because of all the waiting for someone to talk gaps.
Gotcha. Yeah. I tried to listen to some Twitter, I forget what they're called, like spaces. Is that what it is? Mm-hmm. And yeah, it feels like that, where there's like a bunch of dead air trying to wait for someone to start talking.
Yeah.
There's a stage so that it doesn't get too rambunctious, but then you have to wait for that person to get to the stage.
Yeah.
Like unmute themselves.
Yeah, it's just horrible. I can't wait for technology to kind of fix that to where you could have, like, it's something about literally just the delay of however milliseconds it is, like, that on top of the fact that it messes up the interpersonal dynamics of like, should I keep talking because I'm important enough to keep talking, or should I wait for that? It becomes a weird power dynamic.
And then I'm like too patient. Yeah. Like, should I, like, if I'm just too nice about it, then I'll never say anything, I guess.
Yeah. And then it somehow throws off the chemistry. Like, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being stupid about it. Dude. Notebook LM is fucking. Do you use Notebook LM?
I haven't like found a reason to use it. I've seen some of the stuff that you posted about it, like the topics that we covered. But...
Yeah, dude. Like, I talked to my friend Eric about it. He's taking a master's degree just for the heck of it. Like, he's retired and stuff.
Sweet.
And he's telling me all the stuff he's doing with it, pulling all this information in. You can ask it questions. You can summarize it. Like, I think some people are using it for scope document. Like, basically, that thing that we talked about of, like, imagine you could have a scope bot that knew your project scope, and you could just throw documents at it and just ask it a question, and it answers it accurately. That's what it does.
Okay, so it's not just the like podcast style, have a conversation about a bunch of stuff.
It has all these different modalities, and I think they added video recently. So it can take video input, it can do video output, it can do audio, it can do text output. Like, it can ingest lots of different types of text and data sources, and then you can do mind maps on it. Like, I'm looking for more use cases to start using it. Because I did our podcast transcript search on it. And dude, I've tried 3 different ways to build into the website like a good AI search using like a vector database, using OpenAI, blah, blah, blah. And it always sucks. The one question I wanted to ask is, what are the Shopify apps we've talked about? Because we've talked about a bunch. It's kind of interesting to see that information in aggregate. And it's like, I remember some of them, but when I saw the final list and I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, I had all these like, oh yeah type moments. And so I put it in and it just absolutely nailed it. And I just was like, this is so crazy how good it is. And also Eric mentioned that it's different from other AIs in that it's actually bounded to the information you put into it. So that's why it doesn't hallucinate. I mean, it must have some underlying, obviously, model that knows stuff. But, like, somehow it's bounded. So, like, it didn't hallucinate anything. Like, not even 1%. Like,
yeah, I didn't see anything weird there. I saw, like, crazy. A little bit of... There was something that was, like, slightly... Like, it could have been because the transcript wasn't perfect or something like that.
The other funny thing was, like, it mentioned Shopify Flow, and it itemized everything we said about Shopify Flow, like 12 different things. And in my head, I wasn't even thinking of that as an app. I was just thinking of it as like it's native. But it like pulled it up and correlated all those different things. I was like, holy crap.
I got to give it a shot. I feel like I don't trust, maybe trust isn't the right word, but I've been trying to use Gemini and Sheets to help me with stuff. Like I like rather than Google search for what the formula is that I'm looking for to do this like pivot or whatever.
Right.
I just wanted to ask Gemini, and I'm like, I have this data in this tab and this data in this tab. Help me pull the column from A over into this column over here if something else matches.
Right.
So like standard pivot thing. And then it says something like, I can't do this because I don't know anything about that other tab. And I was like, It's literally like, okay, maybe instead of calling it a tab, I'll call it a sheet, but it's there. and then it wrote a function or a formula and it didn't work. And I was like, this isn't working. In order to fix this, I had to rearrange the columns. Why didn't it work the first time? And it just doesn't. And it doesn't feel like it's super knowledgeable.
And by the way, I hate Google. Like, I hate the Google console interface. I hate all the models they're coming out with. It's like, why? It's like, it feels like they're just copying everybody else. I feel like they're sort of evil as a corporation. I think their models are all stupid. Like, this is so much, I think, better than every other product they have. And it's unique in the market that I don't think anything comes anywhere close. It's like,
and they must be doing something special, like what you were saying, the bounding, like that must be super important, like some sort of new thing.
It's got some magic sauce in there. Like, I think Gil even tweeted, I think he said that Notebook LM is the best AI product on the market. And I was like, well, that's a lot to say because, I mean, Claude Code, I think, is like light years better, but it is incredible. Like, I'm trying to find more use cases for it. And also, one idea I had was, I want my kids to use AI more, but, we're worried about it, getting inappropriate content. Even with the age, whatever, I don't know what age, like, based filters they offer. It just feels like those things never work. There's always, like, stuff you don't want them to see that they see, kind of a thing. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out Notebook LM because I'm really interested in seeing something that's like new versus all the other like head-to-head LLM model, like doing work on all of these crazy scientific things, and that's how we score them. Like that's not the way people typically use those things. And like, I just want help writing a very simple formula in this Google sheet and it doesn't work.
I've been watching more videos of the Anthropic team and stuff like that, and I saw one where he said, why is it that like virtually all engineers prefer to use Claude Code even though other models do better in the benchmarks? And he's like, well, we don't optimize for the benchmarks and other people do. When you see a benchmark, like, it is impressive on a certain level, but you have to remind yourself that if they're optimizing for them, then they're like overtraining on like these one specific things versus, you know what I mean?
Who benchmarks the benchmarks?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But like Elon is always posting about the benchmarks, and it's like, I feel like, like on the one hand, I sort of get it. Like, he needs to like grow this thing, and the rate he's grown it is unbelievable. Like, I think even like the NVIDIA guy, Jensen Huang, said that like he did something that usually would take a year in 17 days to
that was the big data center build.
Yeah, and like to hear Jensen Huang say it is like, what? Like the NVIDIA guy. So like, but at the same time, I feel like the whole like soft porn nature of like the Grok chat thing, like, I don't know if you've seen those videos, but it gives you this like anime girl that like video chats. And,
I saw companion mode or something that it's called.
It's like, it's definitely weird, but I was thinking to myself, probably he's growth hacking, dude. He's growth hacking because he doesn't advertise. He does things that get attention. So I think he did that probably because he thought it was interesting, and it is interesting, but probably because he knew that would get a lot of eyeballs. And like, because he really believes there's an existential risk, and he's like, I need to build the good guy version of this. And it's just crazy how unstoppable he is, dude. Like, as an entrepreneur, like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
It's unreal.
I feel like I still have Elon blocked on Twitter, but I feel like he's said like fewer.
You're one. I guess we've never got to a deep enough conversation on that. You're one of those.
It was a while ago. I don't know if things have gotten better.
You're one of those.
He was
man?
Kind of annoying me for a while.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
I mean, I'm on Twitter every day. Yeah, and that's what I did. I muted.
Oh, okay. I thought you blocked. I was like, that's a lot, dude.
Yeah, because Elon's going to see my tweets.
That's. You may. You never. He replied to Toby. Toby replied
Did he?
to something on the new Model YL, and Toby said something like, it'd be good if there was Starlink hotspots or something like that, and Elon replied, good idea. I was like, damn.
Oh, nice.
That's like Toby's version of like when he replies to us.
Yeah.
Although not probably, I don't know. Yeah, probably. I mean, that's an interesting point. Like, as insanely smarter that Toby is than like you or I, and even though they're both billionaires, I bet Elon is that much smarter than him.
Probably.
Which is like crazy.
And Elon knows it. I think that's part of the problem.
There's levels.
Most of the time.
He knows it. I don't know. We could do a whole spiel on that. Oh, can I do a quick advertisement, if you wouldn't mind?
Do it.
All right. So MedSync is my little CLI tool for syncing stores from one shop to another. I built it out. And actually, I created...
Can you sound a little more excited about this?
MedSync. You need to sync your data.
There we go.
So basically, I did a V2 of it that's like better. It basically follows the model of the SQLite database that like Shopify is working on. But I promise I didn't like consciously steal the idea. I literally forgot. I literally heard about it. I forgot about it. Then I started working on it again because I kept needing to sync data for test stores. So then I was starting to work on it again. And then I asked ChatGPT, well, how should I architect this? And because of blah, 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 I need to keep track of state. And it was like, use a SQLite database. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me do that. And like 4 hours later or something, I was like, why does this sound so familiar? And then I was like, oh, yeah. So then I Googled it. I was like, where's their, I remember hearing about their CLI. I Googled it. I couldn't find it. I was like, wait a minute. Did I imagine that? and then I posted about it, and then people replied. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's not out yet, but blah blah blah." Anyways, so I redid it.
Guess I got to release mine.
It's bigger and better. I spent a bunch of time on it. It syncs everything. It has a whole deferred resolution of dependencies model. Because like the V1, one of the problems with it is I kept special casing every time there was a certain reference meta field. And the code just got weird, and it was like I got stuck on this big sync, and it was like I was patching, and it was just stupid. So I did it with a different model for more flexibly deferring resolutions. I did like a bunch of dynamic payload size to like optimize your query costs and stuff like that. And anyways.
Oh yeah, I saw you posting about that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I kept the repo private for now, and I'm just like thinking like, maybe somebody, might want to pay a few dollars, to get access to this exciting new tool. And then I could do, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going door to door trying to sell my CLI. I'm a door to door traveling CLI salesman.
This is how you get acquired by Shopify.
Right. So anyway, it's kind of excited.
That's cool. So it's like the holy grail of actually syncing all the data from one store to another.
Exactly.
Also resolving all of the dependencies of like references to meta objects and
all the stuff. Stores in a local database for fast lookups, because otherwise you're having to go back and forth to like fetch IDs and look them up, and it gets really slow. So like having that database layers of mapping like keeps it all running smoothly. And then also like the first version of it, it was like you had a bunch of subcommands. So like if you wanted to sync meta fields, you'd be like metasync meta fields. And then if you wanted to sync products, you would like do that separately. And then like my friend Colby was using it. He was like, I just want to run it once, like the default mode out of the box, and have it do everything in the correct order. And I'm like, well, yeah. And then like over the past few months, that idea has like recurred to me. And I'm like, oh yeah, obviously. You just want to, so it works like that now. It just like goes to town. But yeah, anywho, no big deal.
It's fine.
Dude, okay, it was so weird. Like I had a day, like, you know how when your productivity drops, or if you feel like your productivity, like you feel like you're not getting anything done, do you get like mildly depressed about it? Like not.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, right?
I was so like, our air conditioning broke this weekend, and I was so hot for the first 3 days of the week, and I was like, I could tell I was just not as effective,
Right.
and I hate myself for it.
It's the absolute, yeah. And I know exactly what you mean. Like, it's crazy the degree to which literally just the temperature destroys your like desire to even think. It's like, it's insane.
So you had a day like that earlier this week?
Oh, but dude, it was even worse because my productivity is getting so much higher, like I said, when it's going well, you know, or even when it's going like medium to well, like I'm in a range. But like that one day this week, dude, Claude was super slow. Like, instead of maybe normally you wait an extra couple minutes, it was like I'm waiting 10 minutes and it's hanging there. And then it eventually like started working. I don't know, there were some other things, but like I feel like because my productivity dropped by so much from like a higher high, I was like very disturbed about it for the rest of the day. It's like making me think, like, with the superpowers that AI gives us, like, we're going to be so dependent on those that losing them is going to feel like very painful.
And that's when the Claude subscription cost goes up to $3,000 a month.
Literally,
after you've had a little taste.
Dude, I feel like I would be lost without it. Like, I have this whole new future I'm imagining for myself because I feel like completely like I have superpowers, and it's like I feel like the future is just going to get better and better. And like, if they cut this thing off and it'd be like, oh, you just have to do regular programming, like, it would.
You mean I got to type all these characters?
Dude. And it's not that I'm not working. I'm actually working more. Like, I thought I would just want to kind of sit there and just chill, like let it prompt. But it's like you want to be doing something. You want to be challenging yourself. So then you find more and more things to like challenge yourself with.
Have you thought about running some sort of local model just to make sure that you're never without AI?
Okay, so the thing I don't understand, like I looked at that, but like, I think, because I only have 8 megs of memory and I'm about to get a new computer, but I don't even think you can run like OpenAI's local model with, I think you need 16 or 32 or something like that. I'm like,
yeah, you have to get a big boy.
How do people do that? Because even if you have that kind of memory, like, okay, you're going to run a model that's going to chew up 80% of your memory or something like that?
I think they usually run it on a dedicated machine and then like talk to it over the network or something.
So they're basically hosting their own server. That's the
exactly.
That makes sense.
It seems like Dave Lazar or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
It seems like he's tinkering in there.
Oh, nice.
So I'm kind of excited to see what he had some interesting tweets talking about that.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like the open source models are pretty good. I mean, I just feel like it's so crazy to me to not be just using Claude Code. But
I know. There's a couple ways it can go. It'll go the way of TV subscriptions,
right,
where you got to have like 5 different subscriptions at all times, which is kind of where we are right now.
Right.
Or people start like trying to host it locally after we gain a lot of like incredible efficiencies in the inference or whatever.
Right.
I'm guessing we end up getting a lot of efficiencies in inference, and then like all of our little, like my fridge will run AI or something. I don't know.
I always forget what inference is in the process.
I think that's just the like generating tokens from an input.
Okay.
Let's look it up.
Yeah. It's one of those words I sort of see it and I sort of like nod my head along, and then I'm like, I don't exactly know what I know I've looked it up on a diagram at least twice, but then I've sort of like forgotten. But yeah, I mean,
I think like the way that I'm using it is you're not going to be training a new model on your local thing. You're going to be running one that already exists, and you just need to like get a response from it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Dude, I mean, if there's good open source alternatives, that would be sweet. It seems like people are coming out with pretty serious open source models, but I'm like, well, what are they?
Yeah, Facebook's still working on it.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the originators of the open source models.
Yeah, like I don't understand their whole move, because obviously It's not like their best stuff is they're going to always want for themselves, aren't they? Like, I don't know. I know there's the weights, and then there's open weights and open source and whatever. Yeah. I don't know what they're sharing, but like, it feels like
they've always been very, like, they shared, like, they invented React, right? And
right.
They invented HHVM back in the day. Right. They just always, like, they're not in the business of selling software. They're in the social network business, and they just, like, because of that, they've got this cool shit.
Huh. Okay. That would be cool if it's like really all fully open. Anyone could run it. Yeah, dude. Good times. One last shout. I don't know what time it is. Oh, damn. It's about that time.
Shout out.
Was Jonathan Moore, who I think is in the Austin area. There's like 3 Shopify developers in the Austin area. I don't know why there's not more. It's so weird to me. He mentioned he uses a Shopify research sub-agent in Claude. By the way, it's funny that all we're talking about is Claude, this whole entire thing. But I was seeing how the MCP was like, and I noticed it, like, does it all the time. It like, it'll return a response with like 37,000 tokens, and then it shows an error message that says you can only get a max of 25,000. And I'm like, why the hell is it sending back so much?
Whoops.
You know what I mean? And like, anyways, so he said he uses a Shopify research sub-agent, and then it like gets everything right. And I'm just like, that's crazy. I don't know how these sub-agents work, but there's some real magic to them.
Does it just, it knows like what the response is going to be like, and so it tailors the request to make it reasonable?
I mean, it must just do a really good job of researching Shopify-related web stuff and returning the right answer. Because I don't think it's hitting. Sub-agents don't like hit MCPs necessarily. They just, I don't know how the hell they work.
I ran into something like that recently. Again, a Google Sheet thing. Like I have this sheet that every new product review we get just goes in as another row in the sheet. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to like apply a filter for a particular product and then analyze the reviews of the currently visible cells. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll just write this function that calls off the ChatGPT and give it a range. Mm. But the range still includes the rows that are filtered out of the current view.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting the like, oh, you're trying to send 50,000 tokens. That's above your limit. I was like, what is happening here? It's not that many.
Yeah. It's gnarly.
And then Jim and I couldn't do it either. I'm so confused about certain things in my life when AI exists.
I don't know, man.
I'll just do it.
It's all very confusing. It's all very disorienting. This whole AI revolution.
Good times. I was talking to my daughter the other day about how it's really interesting because when I was growing up, the internet was the new thing. And like now the internet is crazy. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And the same thing is kind of happening with her with AI. Like it's fledgling right now, even though it feels amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's brand new, and I can't imagine like what she'll experience growing up.
Man, that is such a crazy thought. It's gonna get so crazy, and I'm gonna stop saying it's gonna get weird. It's gonna be cool. Like I really,
yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I really feel like there's this pessimism that's baked into us. You know, like I heard Peter Thiel do a talk on it. How people really used to be optimistic about technology, and it's like every single movie, technology is the bad guy, and the robots try to kill us and take over. And it's like, can't we just be optimistic about cool shit without having to always, you know what I mean? Take the whole devil's advocate side.
Well, why is everyone so scared of technology? I feel like it's because the big thing that's happened recently is social media is like the technology, and turns out they're taking all of our data and trying to sell stuff to us. Maybe that's why people are distrustful.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It feels like, social media is sort of like a net negative.
I really hope that at no point there's like, here's a free model. It's the best one that exists, but every third message you have to watch an advertisement.
Yeah. I heard this really interesting idea for monetization. I think they said what they could do is they could route you to different models depending on kind of like the nature of your question. Well, there's already routing, so it routes you to GPT-5 versus GPT thinking, and you could have more sophisticated routing. If you're on a free tier, maybe you get routed to the lower models more often, or maybe if you ask a question that's related to something that could be monetized, they could not change the answers, but if the answer happened to be a product, then they could surface it with a link. You know what I mean? So that it's not an advertising model. It's like very close, I guess. But
yeah,
and you'd have to trust
that might be why.
Like you'd have to trust them that they were actually, but they could make that verifiable. And I think like if you could trust them that they were not impacting the accuracy of the answers, and then there's just a link that has like a referral commission, like that feels like it would be amazing.
I guess, yeah, kind of like Google Ads. When you search for something, Google has like a little section that's like ads that people kind of put against a certain search term.
Well, I hate those. I mean, I hate because those are getting in the way of what you're trying to get to. You know,
sometimes.
I mean, sometimes they're relevant, but
maybe most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. You're like, I love.
Let's just hope that energy gets cheaper and computers get cheaper, and there's going to be no need to squeeze everyone for running these models.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, let's hope for the best, man. It's going to be a sad day if it doesn't work out.
I agree.
I'm going to have a rough week that week.
And then I'll get over it.
Dude, I'll be hitting the vodkas hard, man.
Maybe by then I'll be retired and I won't need AI.
I'll be slamming vodkas in the garage, dude.
Garage. Get some garage vodka going.
Trying to get dude, I'll be sipping on garage moonshine, dude. Trying to get my spirits up, dude.
What would you do if you retired, like right now? Would you hang out in your garage and make moonshine?
Dude, I'd move to Costa Rica and surf all the time.
Oh, you would surf?
Yeah, that's what I want.
I didn't know you surfed. That's cool.
Yeah, I went there to learn to surf when I was, I guess, a few years back, and I was just like, my friend had just sold a company, and and he was in Hawaii, and we're texting back and forth. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm learning to surf. And about the 6th time that he texted me that, I was like, dude, I want to learn to surf. And then I was like, you know, I know what's going to happen if I ask my wife. I know she's going to say no, and like she's going to kind of like discourage me. And then I'll probably not do it because like whenever she discourages me from doing something, I just don't do it. So I was like, I'm booking the trip, and I'm going to and also I had a feeling she wouldn't want to go or whatever. And I go, I'm booking the trip, and then I'm telling her, hey, I'd love for you guys to come if you want to, but I'm going to go. Like I'm going to go. And so that was what I did. That was what I did. And I felt very guilty, of course, just going on
the whole time
vacation with a wife and 3 kids at home. Also, the weather ended up being that it froze out here. So they were like out about the weather, and I was like, "Hey, see you later. I'm going to Costa Rica."
Sorry.
And my wife, I was there for a week-long trip, and then I like extended it, and then like,
oh no!
And then like my wife eventually came down and joined me after like 2 weeks, and then we spent the next 2 weeks there together, and then we came.
Whoa, cool!
And and so then I just fell in love with it. I was like, I want to wake up every day for the rest of my life and like do this. And then after that, I said, okay, we're moving here. Let's make another trip. So we made another trip for the following like summer, a 2-month trip. I was like, we're going to visit every city. We're going to figure out which city we like best. We're going to figure out the school, all that kind of stuff. And then we went back, and then it was just like different. It was like the kids were fighting all the time. Finding activities for them to do was tricky. Me and her were arguing because of like we were in too small of a place. So like it was just crowded.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? all those types of things. And then we were just like, and also it was like, well, they have their friends back home. They have their all their class. Even though we homeschool, it's like we're still very tied to this place because all their relationships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was just like, it really doesn't make sense. So then I kind of let it go. But if I was retired, definitely.
So when you're an empty nester, you're going back.
What's that?
When you're an empty nester, you're going back.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, 100%. What about you, man? Pottery store, right?
Pottery. Yeah, maybe I would be making pottery. And if we're talking about somewhere that we would also just move and have a completely different life.
Yeah.
I'd do pottery in Italy. I'd move over to, what's it called? The floating city. Why can't I not answer this?
Floating city. Sounds familiar. Quick Google search. Please.
Quick Google search. Venice. Hello. Venice, Italy. I would go to Venice, Italy, and I would make pottery and sell it to local coffee shops.
Hell yeah, dude. Damn, dude, how cool would that be, man? If, let's say we like lose touch 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we run into each other in Italy. You've done exactly that. You know what I mean? I'm like buying pottery from your store, talking about the good old days.
Heck yeah.
That'd be rad.
Well, let's get it going. Let's set up the plan. Let's see, I have like 10 years, maybe 12, 15, let's call it 15 years until my kids are out of the house.
Yeah.
So, got to start saving.
Start saving up that dough, man. Start saving up that Bitcoin.
Good.